Good afternoon. I hope you're well. Just to really get a chance to listen to this. So I've just sent you your new tracking document. So check your emails. It could be in your junk folder. Obviously this is still done on Google Sheets, much the same as before. But it's just simplified so I am able to view your biofeedback a lot better and get a lot more info from you about your week, both in terms of nutrition, energy expenditure, training, all that jazz, and everything and anything else as well. It's also going to be a lot easier for me to manipulate your training if needs be. So I do want you to use this tracking document going forward, and I want you to get into the habit of trying to fill it out every single day as well, just obviously while everything's fresh in your mind too. So we've got first up here your nutritional targets. So as they are, and some non-negotiables. So all these non-negotiables will be very person dependent, but these are yours. So eating frequent meals every 3 to 4 hours. A lot of this stuff you'll already do, but just will just serve as a reminder. Distribute protein throughout main meals primarily. Obviously you can use protein-based snacks as an additional top-up if needs be, but your snacks don't need to be protein-based. A minimum of 25 grams serving per meal. Have your pre-workout meal 60 minutes to 2 hours prior to training, obviously just to give that time to digest. Include fruit and or veg with each meal. Sit down to eat meals away from distractions. Take your time when eating and chew thoroughly. Obviously this is going to aid digestion and stuff as well. And having your last meal not too close to bedtime, again giving that time to digest and to ensure that you do get a good quality night's sleep. Next to that, you'll see your cardio and expenditure targets here. So we've got 3 days at the minute. Obviously, you're doing steady state on the bike, and we're going to push for 30 minutes over those 3 days. Fasted preferably, so first thing in the morning. It's not this is not a deal breaker. If you find that you've got more time in the evening to get this done, that's fine as long as it gets done. And a daily step count of 9k. Training here, so you'll see your training. I have just jigged things about a bit, obviously, because we've got no hack squat. We had swapped over to the barbell deadlift, but I don't want you actually doing 2 barbell exercises back to back in that session. So I didn't want you to do a barbell deadlift and then going into the barbell back squat. So I want you just to treat this week as week 1. I've just moved the back squat down into that now full body session as opposed to it was glutes and delts. So our split at the minute is obviously upper, lower, and full body. Ideally, you want rest days in between so you're fresh going into each session. This is obviously not going to be the same every single week, depending on your workload. I know for me, I do try and structure my sessions as best I can, but there are just occasions where I maybe do need to do 2 or 3 sessions back to back, which isn't ideal, but that's all we can do in that week. So yeah, that's in an ideal world. So 3 times per week frequency, and we're going to monitor this for the next 4 to 8 weeks, depending on your biofeedback. So you'll see I don't have any demo videos in here because obviously you know well enough by now, but if there's anything there that you're unsure of, ask me and I can grab you a demo video, a suitable one from YouTube, or you can search it yourself. So upper is much the same. You'll see here you've got 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Shoulder press machine of choice, so you've got 2/1, so that's 2 heavier sets and then 1 lighter back off set. So it will be 2 heavier sets of 8 to 12 reps and then 1 lighter back off set of 10 to 15 reps. So that's what that means. So let me know that you understand that, okay? For example, next week I could decide, okay, we're going to do 2 heavier sets and 2 lighter back off sets. That's just an example. It's not to say I'm going to change sets and reps every single week. I certainly won't. It'll just depend on a few different variables and what areas that I feel that we can bring up. Which on that note, pictures, if I can get some pictures, that would be great. Lower exercise, as I say, I've swapped little things about. So you've got the leg press in there now as opposed to barbell back squat. We've got dumbbell walk and lunge. Smith machine hip thrust is now in there. Rope pull through, and then calf raise of choice. So you can do toe press. That just depends obviously on how your foot is. You can do body weight calf raises, that's absolutely fine. Seated calf press, you could do standing calf press, you could do calf press on the, what do you call it, leg press machine like you were doing before. Full body then, abductor. So get a good warm up of the hips, get them opened before we go into our barbell back squat. Then you've got a Bulgarian split squat, 2 heavier sets, and then 1 lighter back off set. Arnold press. I'm not sure if you've done this before, but let me know. I can send you a really good video of that. This is going to really more serve as a bit of a warm up. It's a really good for the entire shoulder, so front side and rear delts, just to get them well warmed up. And then we've got chest press machine of choice, so it's up to you what they've got available over there, but whatever you choose, just run with that for the duration of this block. So it could be a flat chest press machine, it could be a barbell chest press, it could be an incline chest press machine, it could be a dumbbell. Well, I'd rather use a machine, to be honest. It would be a lot safer. Seated cable row, so use a wee V-bar attachment for that, please. And then you've got single arm D handle lat pull down. So that will be chest supported on a bench if possible. Again, if you need a wee video of that, please let me know and I'll send that through. So moving on here, this will be where you will check in from now on. So that your previous tracking document, just do away with that. I'll obviously keep that here for my own records. But this is where I want you to check in each day. Not each day, but I want you to fill out each day, and then just have that filled for me for whenever I have a look at it on a Monday. So you'll obviously fill out today's date, scale weight, as well. I'll take an average of that over the week. So nutrition, you've got a drop down list here. Was it great, average, or poor? So if you haven't hit your protein target, you haven't hit your overall calories, you would rate that as average. If you've hit everything bang on, great. If everything's fallen to absolute shite, then poor. Recovery then, so on a scale of 1 to 7, I feel a scale of 1 to 10 is too hard to gauge. So if you feel like absolute dog shit after a session, the next day your body is aching, you're going to rate that as a 1. If you feel absolutely fantastic, good to go, you're a 7. Let me know that makes sense. Physical energy levels then, so high, average, or low. Mood, again, high, average, or low. Stress levels, high, average, or low. Any illness or injury, if applicable, please give details. Scrolling down here, so it'll be what session you've done. So it will be either upper, lower, or full body. Training progression, so just a yes or no. You can elaborate on that if you like. Motivation to train, high, average, or low. Any cardio performed that day, and your average step count for that day as well. Not your average step count, your actual step count. Moving on then to the nutritional aspect of it. So appetite and hunger, low, average, or high. Frequency of bowel movements, how many times you've done a number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus. If you're doing more than 5 plus, then we need to get you seen to. Quality of stool movement, so solid, regular, or loose. And any gastrointestinal distress. So any gas, any bloating, things like that. Further on down then you've got general, so stimulant use, so this includes caffeine, pre-workouts, monsters, all that shit. I want you to have a cut-off point, ideally in and around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because caffeine does have a half-life, I think, of 12 hours. Don't quote me on that. So obviously if you've had, it's maybe not as long as that, but yeah, you don't want to have it too late in the day because it's going to be in your system then whenever you're going to bed, and it is going to affect your sleep quality. So it's just something to be really, really mindful of. Anything after 1 o'clock, have a decaf, whatever. Now, there is an exception to the rule, and I'm only owning up to this because I'm guilty of it. If I'm training in the evening, I will have a coffee. I'd probably stay away from the likes of Monster and pre-workout because they'll just leave me wired before bed. If I have a coffee, normally I'm grand, but I wouldn't make a habit of it. Um, and any menstrual cycle notes in here. So if you're ovulating, if your period's due, if it's day 1 of your period, if it's the last day of your period, just pop in there for me. And then when you come to check in with me on a Monday, you will give me a summary of your week and just write it all up in there. Everything and anything that comes to mind, just pop it in there. So yeah, that is your new tracking document. Let me know if you do have any questions in regards to that. But have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.